Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and all those other wonderful things. This is a scene for Kingdom of the Howling Winds, and it's set in. Wait,
You just combined venue names. It
this
is
is a scene for the Sept of the Southern Gate.
no Kingdom of the Sun of the Southern Gate.
That one. I'm sorry. This is a scene for the Kingdom of the Southern Gate. So, the kings are at home in their fluffy, puffy condo doing king things. I'm sorry, audience. They're cooking dinner.
Okay,
Beautiful. It's
so
a chicken. They're making chicken.
they're making chicken. Okay,
They're making
um,
fucking chicken. It's
Rose
Chicken
is not
Tuesday.
quite as mad as she would be. Uh, so that made her feel better.
All right.
However, she is still quite pissed. And she comes in the door. She doesn't bother to knock. Uh, I'm very sure that she's been told she can come and go as she please.
I mean, she probably has a keyless, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, this is the first time she's left their house without them for longer than like a couple of hours in. So, anyway, and she greets both of them with a smile, but there's definitely something off about her.
Alexei will tilt his head and look at her. Are you okay?
Yes and no.
He'll stop what he's doing. It's why can I not remember my character's names right now? Eli, that's cooking. Alexei will kind of come over to her and kind of wrap his arms around her gently. What's wrong?
Last night, how the Summer King declared the situation between Toshi and Hayden to end and nothing else to come of it.
Yeah, vividly.
Well, Toshi decided that he wasn't going to honor that. And he went to Hayden's house while he was sleeping and set it on fire, and had his thugs beat him within an inch of his life.
So the actual king in the room will stop what he's doing and look over.
His punishment, as declared by the Spring Consort, is to be stripped of all of his worldly possessions and finances, and be stripped of his court, and he is to be courtless. I don't think that that's punishment enough, but it's not my decision. If it were up to me, he would suffer endlessly.
Elias shrugs and says, be creative, dear. Once he's courtless, he doesn't have the courts to protect him from somebody taking care of him.
She smiles. Yes. And I told Fiona, she's the one who told me, that should he ever cross my path, I could guarantee that he would survive, but I could not guarantee the state in which he would be surviving. But I would like to make sure that he never has a chance to try and join a court again.
It'd be a shame if while he was courtless and not under the protection of the freeholds, if he ended up under the attention of one of the gentry now, wouldn't it?
She smiles a wicked smile. Shame, yes. Such a shame.
You know, one of the things about being Winter King is that you have to know so many secrets that others may not want known, including, oh, I don't know, where one might find a member of the gentry. And he'll just look back at the chicken, letting it sizzle.
He has Rose's full attention.
There may be someone who masquerades as one of the lost, who is in fact one of the gentry. And I might know where to find him. Alexei kind of looks like one part of him wants to be like so gleefully down for this. It's like, and the other half is fucking repulsed and disgusted, torn directly down the fucking middle.
Yeah, Rose doesn't look conflicted in the least. That vice.
I mean, one of the protections of the court is from the gentry. If you aren't, he'll nod. Under the protection of the gentry, or under the protection of the courts, then God knows what'll come after you.
You are free game. Fair game. For anybody. And he has nowhere to go. He has no money, or he's going to have no money. I'm not sure that he is aware of his punishment yet.
So, would you happen to want to maybe come across a certain address?
I might. Yes, I very much might want to come across a certain address.
He'll walk over to, you know, like their little command center where the bills go and then the junk like that and the keys get set and stuff like that. And he'll pick up a notepad and he'll scrawl something across it, an address and a name. And he'll basically fold it up. And he does something very playful for Elias. He'll walk towards her with kind of a sexy kind of gleam in his eye, folding the piece of paper up. And he puts it right past the waistband of his sleeping pants right in front. And licks
That's
his
fantastic. Rose.
That you wanted a black
Rose will return that look. And when she sees what he does, she gives him a very sultry look, and she will retrieve the note with her teeth.
He'll moan softly at the touch of her lips on his skin. Bite his lip.
And when she stands up and she takes the note and she'll give him a kiss.
He'll kiss her back. He's getting comfortable with her. There's definitely more of flex in that homo flexible.
At least for her.
For her.
Um, yeah, exactly, just for her.
Oh my god.
Um, but Rose is she enjoys it. It's different with Elias than it is with Lexa, but she enjoys what they have as well. And she will then turn to Lexa and greet him properly with a hug and a kiss.
He'll pull her into his arms and kiss her and nuzzle her and shower her with her fucking the attention she loves. Come on. Let's get dinner in before we get too far in our machinations. Well, starving? So they'll sit down and have a nice supper. And while they are eating, it's chicken, rice, stuff like that. Lexa, or not Lexa, Elias will say to her, I do need to press upon you. This is one of them. He is
I know.
he is one of the more sane that I've met, and I believe he is among the banished. But that does not make him any less one of them. He
She
guises
nods.
as an incubus. As I understand it, he used to be a god in a realm, a god of madness and chaos, and somehow fell into Arcadia. And although counted as one of the member of the gentry, isn't quite trying to make sense, and he doesn't know if it does. As I understand the lore, he was a god of madness and travel. And he opened a portal into Arcadia. Although not one of the gentry before, when he came through into it, it created him into one. Does that make sense? He became one.
Yes.
But since he was different, as I understand it, the lost, or not the lost, I'm sorry, the fair folk, as it were, rejected him. But he still has ties to Arcadia. So, he'll raise his glass to her. To secrets.
She'll raise her glass to secrets.
And they will have a lovely supper with her. Do you want her to go and see the character?
Um, you
It
know
is
what?
something that you definitely want to do alone. You don't want to bring other player characters.
Um, yes. She will go ahead and take care of that. Yeah, she'll go. She wants to do that as soon as possible. So, sure.
Okay. Lexa and the king will let her know that they love her very much. Both of them love her very much. They trust her. Should anything happen, they won't ask questions.
Okay.
If you understand, which you will. You'll understand what they're saying becomes relevant. It will all make sense.
All right.
They send her on her happy way. Where she is going is on a private island. In like
Boy.
in the south of Miami, like in the not the Keys quite, but the lower bay. So essentially, yes. So essentially, she'll drive down there, and she has to take a ferry. Strangely enough, she is not questioned as per going there. Like you'd think she'd get like the shakedown, but no one actually stops her because it's a fucking True Fae. What are you gonna do?
For sure. Yeah, exactly. Like,
Like
there's no way
to a gunfight. Right
she is
ahead.
not. She's not stupid enough to take on a True Fae by herself. Um, No,
There is
but she does
no.
not want. She wants to make. She wants to, in a sense, form an alliance with this one. um.
Yes.
So she will be very polite, and yeah, she will submit to whatever security measures she is part
It's
of, and
uh,
whatever.
it's a light kind of security dusting, just kind of like okay, whatever. Keep your stilettos, whatever. You'll need them.
Yeah, she does have her stilettos on her, and yeah, she doesn't have a gun because Rocky hasn't made her a new one yet. Um, the look Natalie just gave me is great. Um, and yeah, she's not exactly sure what to expect, but she goes to.
Um, she's basically taken by a small private, not a ferry like a ferry boat, but like a boat, a small boat. And it'll take her to the dock of this small island. The home that's on it is a very beautiful Italian revival. She can see some people like kind of playing out in the yard, like playing typical like barbecue games, as it were. She does notice that some of them are in various states of undress, with kind of that world tribal music kind of pumped out across the crowd. This is some serious, like, how do I word this? Um, this is some serious, hmm. I hate to say this, but cult of ecstasy sort of feel.
Nice.
Yeah, they're just a lot of people are basically uh, just kind of smoking marijuana, doing drugs, having open sex out in the just where they lie. Um, all of them seem to be of age. It's nothing like that. But this is a party here. This is a whoo hello. Um, and basically the boat will dock, and she'll be led on by a girl basically with kind of a sarong on, and that's kind of it. And she'll smile at her and say, she'll just greet her basically and say, "How may I help you?"
Well, I was given your information by a friend.
I take it you're here to see the master.
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, I
He's going to love you.
am. She inhales a sharp breath, like, "Oh no," um, but she just smiles like she does.
She'll bite her lip and kind of motion her head and say, "Do you want anything to eat, to drink?"
If you have any wine, red, that would be lovely.
Pinot Noir?
Yes.
I think it is. She'll nod and she'll like click her fingers at someone that's wearing a tasteful BDSM slaves outfit and say to him, "Get a glass of the good Pinot Noir. Hurry off, pet." And he will bolt and come back a few minutes later as they kind of walk more to the bulk of the house with a glass on a tray. Two glasses, actually. She'll take one too. And she'll take it and hand it over to Rose. "I'm Marina."
It's very nice to meet you, Marina.
"It's nice to meet you too. Trust me, the pleasure is mine."
I am Rose. Rose Black.
Oh, what a lovely name.
Thank
I'd,
you. I gave it to myself.
I'd love to cry it out, but alas. She'll walk. And she'll basically take her up a grand staircase and kind of lead her through. There are people just it's not sloppy vice on this island. It's all very tasteful and kind of very not tasteful. That's not the word for it because you don't even know where to put those two words together. Um, this is just elite. You know what I mean? This is like an incubus freehold level of sex glamour going through the air. And there are just people kind of laughing around and lounging. And there are some people that are just doing normal shit, playing video games and, just doing normal crap. Thankfully, everyone does seem to be of age. But he'll lead her into, she'll lead her into like a parlor, as it were, basically. There's a couple of chairs and some books and some musical instruments and stuff like that. And she notices that there's a man standing kind of on a balcony that the room leads into and looking out into the crowd. The first thing that shockingly fucking stands out about this fellow is that he's only about 5'3". And it does not seem to fucking matter 1 inch that he is that short. Like, he takes up so much more space than that. And he'll basically turn and look to her. And when he does, that's me. That's not going to get us very far. When he does, it's a little bit, it shocks you. Like, you're very aware of the fact that a true fae is looking at you. It's almost like reality is bending around him and
Oh boy.
Twisting, and time seems to slow and yet speed up. And it's one of the type of things that can both terrify and thrill you in the same breath. Luckily, it is manageable because he is basically masquerading as a lost right now. And he is not wearing a shirt. He's basically just wearing a pair of leather pants. The picture is pretty much dead on from the waist up. His eyes do look like they're made of flame, essentially, like the iris part. And his hair is just spilling around his shoulders. And he'll walk forward, looking at her.
She is a bit mesmerized by his presence.
He'll smile, looking at her. My. I haven't seen beauty this since I left my world.
Rose will smile a very big smile.
He'll circle her. He is totally fucking checking her out and judging her.
Oh, for sure.
He'll lick his lips.
Thinks she is a stranger, too.
Tell me, dear, are you here for business, pleasure, or both?
I suppose that depends. Maybe a bit of both.
Steps just inside her personal space, and his smell is intoxicating.
Oh, God.
And he looks up at her.
She will breathe him in.
Your skin is exquisite.
Thank you. She's actually a little speechless.
He'll step in a little bit closer.
She does not try and get away from him.
You were quite angry earlier. I can taste it on you.
A bit of a wicked smile.
Granted, it's not the only thing I'd like of yours on my lips right now, but it'll have to do.
Yes, that is the reason I am here.
Ah, I see. Purpose does seem to be driving you, so why don't you tell me yours so we can hopefully solve your dilemma and move on?
Uh, I got word. Well, let me start at the beginning. I was at a gala last night. Sure, you probably heard about it. It was extremely big party. Um,
I lost one of my pets there. I wasn't there, but one of my pets got lost there. Her
who's your
pet.
pet?
He'll make little hands and like flap wings.
Okay.
A small dragon, a little dragon.
A dragon. Interesting.
To be honest, he'll shake his head and wave his hand off. We weren't meshing well.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, I know, right? A pout.
So there was an altercation between two members of the Spring Court.
It lights his eyes up. Ooh, fighting?
The Summer King stepped in, as it is his rule now, that the conflict end, and they were told by their own court that they were not to disobey the Summer King and to end whatever quarrel they had with each other now and move on. There was one that decided he wasn't going to obey.
Oh, this is so petty. He'll just rub his temples like
um,
the
and
squabbling of the children just galls me sometimes.
indeed, I it was over something really petty. Um, one of the gentlemen made a pass at the other gentleman's boyfriend, and things got heated.
Intrigue. Sounds sexual.
So the one that made a pass at the other person's boyfriend decided that he was going to take matters into his own hands, and he went to the boyfriend's house and set his house on fire with him in it, and didn't even have the gall to do it himself. He had two of his thugs beat him within an inch of his life.
He makes his lip pouts out and he looks offended. Like you have personally offended his ancestors. Not you personally, but the situation.
Yeah. So it just so happens that the boyfriend of the person that was attacked is a friend of mine. And I care about him and his well being, and he's not doing too well right now. The the other gentleman, that the offender, has been stripped of his court. He is courtless. He has been stripped of his finances, though he is penniless.
His eyes, the embers of them flare. The fire basically rising. Like you just told this motherfucker Christmas, Easter, and Halloween all at the same time.
And she'll say, I was wondering if you might like to have a new pet.
I'm soaking it up right now. How happy I am.
She'll smile a very satisfied and wicked smile.
I've been waiting so long for someone to become banished from the courts. It's been forever. They try so hard to hang on to every member that they can, and I really do admire them for that. I just don't know if I want to send him back to Arcadia or keep him here on my island. He'll tap his lip. Which should I do? If I send him to Arcadia, I can train him, mold him, I could break him, I could kill him. I could kill him. And then no. He'll shake his hand. No, that's too easy.
Rose will actually pipe up and say, there would be no... You couldn't play with him if he was dead.
Necrophilia. I appreciate you. I don't think that's a kink that I much indulge in. I might have to change that. Have you ever heard the song?
No, she said you couldn't. She said you couldn't play with him if he was dead.
I know.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's like, have you ever heard the song?
She's just like,
Heaven?
song what?
He says, have you ever heard the song Little Piece of Heaven by Avenged Sevenfold?
I have,
bite his lip.
actually. They're one of my favorite bands.
He'll smile. It's one of those things where when he smiles, you don't know which emotion is behind it.
Oh, fantastic.
So, you want me to scoop up this courtless... I don't have words for something that pathetic. He'll just shake his hand.
Yes, I would prefer him to suffer.
Oh, I can make him suffer. My island isn't just pleasure. Most of these people don't realize that there's an entire underbelly to this working. Going.
Rose looks intrigued.
What'd you like to see?
She hesitates for a moment. Am I going to get to come back?
Yes. Tonight. He'll nod. Like, I could have so fucked with you. So
Right? Because she just asked if she was coming back. She didn't say when.
Yeah, he'll say tonight. Yes, of course. He'll take her hand.
All right.
And he'll lead her. She is very well aware of the fact as they walk along a hallway, at some point, there's just a snap of cold energy, and it occurs to her she just willingly walked into Arcadia with a member of the gentry.
Wow.
Who could have totally fucking lied to her. But he has his hand slipped into hers. And he takes her into a part of the home where they're going down like into like cellars basically. And she hears a sharp scream. Just an agonizing cry of anguish. And like the sound of a whip cracking.
Okay, Rose is like a kid in a fucking candy store.
And he'll open a door, steam rolls out, and he basically takes her in, and she sees just a couple of people. When I say a couple, I mean a couple a lot. Some of them are basically using shovel-like hands to scoop coal into furnaces. Some of them are basically like they look like they're made of wax, and they're pulling off pieces of like their flesh to shape and make candles, like their hair on fire. She notices that some of them are chained to like basically what appear to be control panels made of like steam and like clockwork gears and things like that. And basically their hands have been just shaped into these fine tool like just appendages, and they're working and like ticking on them. She notices that all of them are basically wearing like muzzles and have like just these horrified looks in their eyes. And he just walks around with her. As I said, not everything here is pleasure.
It depends on who you're talking to.
Oh my.
And I suppose it depends on who is on what end of the whip.
I would imagine so. You look like you could use a little de-stressing. He'll, as he walks by one of like the capos, basically, he'll kind of snatch off his whip and give it a spin in his hands and hold it out to her.
She will take it.
You have a choice. You can either whip me or one of them.
Somehow I don't think I will get the reaction I would like to elicit out of you. So
No, I promise you will love the reaction you get out of me, just maybe not right now.
she laughs at that. Very just yeah.
He'll find a bigger kind of lumbering monster, and he'll say, I can tell you this. Everyone in this room does deserve this. They are either... Just trust me. They don't deal well with people who force their vice on others. He growls. Though I can be a little bit flexible with what forcing means. And he'll basically kind of go behind her, and he uses his powers to heighten himself a little to where he's taller than her. And he'll basically kind of slide his hand down her arm and like kind of wrap it around her hand, which is holding the handle of the whip. I take it you know how to swing one of these, right? From the wrist. He'll kind of whisper in her ear. Or have you only dreamed of doing this?
She say, no, I've done it, just not to someone who was completely powerless.
It is intoxicating.
She smiles a wicked smile. She'll circle around the person first.
He'll cross his arms and watch her.
This, just to clarify, this is a whip she has in her hand, yes?
Yeah, it's like a normal bullwhip. The thing,
right.
the person basically kind of like lumbers, and it's one of the shovel hand coal people. And it'll basically kind of hold his hands in front of it, like trembling.
Yeah, she's gonna circle around him. and uh, she'll she'll crack the whip a couple of times.
It will.
She's taking her time.
Yeah, it's gonna cry out into its mask and kind of like try to cover its face.
Rose smiles. She is reveling in the fear of this. Oh, she loves it. Um, Once he's thoroughly scared, she will then step back.
Yeah, it's become so scared that she can see a growing wetness on the front of its breeches as it trembles, and she can tell that
Yes.
beg her to stop, to not hurt it.
Oh, this is music to her ears. She will step back to where she has the full length of the whip, uh, to not only be able to get back behind her, but also in front of her, so that she catches just the cracker on him. She
Mm,
wants it to hurt as much as possible.
yes, and he will the being basically just breaks down sobbing and like kind of crouches and like covers its head, and the the the
Uh,
gentry will smile and watch.
all of the anger that she's felt this afternoon is getting taken out on this poor soul.
And his smile only goes bigger and bigger. And yeah, to be honest, he won't stop her from fucking killing it if like she wants to.
She won't kill him, but he will be very, very injured. His
Yeah,
back is laid wide open.
yeah.
There's blood flinging around as she's whipping him. Uh, she doesn't kill him. When he gets to the point of passing out, she will stop.
He'll basically walk over afterwards and kind of run his hands up its back, like trailing its blood onto it, and lift it to his face and smell deeply of it. And just drink it up. That was beautiful. But I'd expect no
That
less of it.
was
He'll stand back up.
that was cathartic.
He'll smile to her.
Like she's breathing heavy, and there's a certain look in her eyes that she's elated with what she did. Yeah, she had a very cathartic release with that.
He'll take the whip and set it aside. And then he'll like kind of think about it, and he'll say, "Come with me," and offer his arm to her again.
She'll take it.
He'll walk with her, actually back out, but out of this room, but not out of the hedge and fairy just yet. And he'll take her into a pure actual dungeon. And he'll go with her to. He goes with her through it. She does realize that there is someone that's basically tied to a rack. Like that kind of stirs and wakes up and moans out in pain and goes back to like knocks back out essentially from it. And he just kind of shakes his head like, oh my god. And he goes to there's like weapons racks all over the walls and stuff like that, but he'll kind of shake out some keys from his pocket that were kind of like on his waist basically. And he'll pull one and unlock like a locked weapons rack that has much more beautiful weapons in it. And he'll pull down a whip and offer it to her.
She'll take it.
It is beautiful. It has basically embroidered roses on the handle, and it is the finest fucking leather. And
Oh my god.
on top of that, she can see that there are little bits of obsidian woven into the leather of the whip itself.
Oh my god. That's amazing. She is just going to admire and inspect and smell the whip.
Mm-hmm.
She will breathe in the scent of the high quality leather for a
It,
little bit.
it's it's very soft, supple dragon belly hide, basically.
Oh,
And
yes.
the tip on it, but like the tip of the handle, is a jet rose, a rose made of jet.
Wow.
And he'll smile at her.
She'll say, if I didn't know any better, I'd say this was made for me.
Oh well. He'll smile at her. I picked it up a bit ago. Liked it, but never really had use for it. It seems like it was made just for your hands. But I could also say the same of you for me, couldn't I? Why don't we go back to my chambers and you give it a try?
All right. Could do that.
So, he will take her back to his room and he'll basically, his bed has it's got a they're still in the Fae side, by the way. His room is very cavernous and dark and Victorian and crushed red velvets, and it's so beautiful. She can also tell that this is not a place that he brings people often. There's just an air hanging about that he's very selective in whom he brings to his inner chamber. And it's probably not something that's happened for a little bit. And he'll basically go to the bed, and there's two basically like leather loop straps, basically, and he'll slip his hands into them and grip them and smile back at her.
She'll she'll look at the room for a moment before focusing it on him. She'll get a feel for the whip first before using it. Just kind of get a feel for its weight, things like that.
So perfectly balanced.
Yeah, she's like in
Shocking.
love with the. She's in love with the damn thing. She's like,
It's
seriously, this was made for me. And then she will begin lightly, um, at first. Not with the definitely not with the intent that she had with the thing downstairs. Um, this is a bit more sensual.
of course. He'll cry out, but it's in pleasure. She has the feeling that it takes a lot to hurt him.
Mhm.
She's not quite sure she could probably do it right now. So
Probably not.
it's just very intensely painful for him. And the obsidian on the obsidian on the whip does open small cuts in the skin. Not only does it
Nice.
flash, but it also cuts. And after she basically kind of tears through him a bit, he has blood dripping down his back and like the back of his leather pants and things like that, chest heaving. He'll stop and pull his hands free and turn around, walk towards her, little drips of blood following after him, and smile at her.
She smiles back. You make such pretty sounds.
I'd love to hear yours. What pain draws your pleasure? I know the answer, but I want to hear it.
She looks at him. She gives him a look like, I don't know what you're talking about.
A smile. You do have a look in your eyes that does keep me from pushing too into you. Trust me. If you didn't have that look, I'd have you spread eagle on my bed right now screaming my name. But you have something about you.
She'll smile. I have deep feelings for more than one person.
You can see that. But your love for someone is protecting you.
She thinks about that. She's like, love. Do I?
I'll just smile.
She has almost a bewildered look on her face. Like even she didn't realize. Or maybe she did, but she's just been denying it.
I'll smile softly. We're such capricious lots. Here I am talking you out of fucking me.
She'll give a little bit of a chuckle.
Probably not what you were expecting of me. I mean, granted, if you want to, I'm certainly not going to stop you. I would love to taste your nectar. He shivers. I haven't had a good round of sex in 4 hours. He'll shake his head like it's been forever. I'm just kidding. It's actually been longer than that. I get bored. He'll like motion back at the vague trappings of his freehold, quote unquote freehold. I get very, very bored with that. It takes more to turn me on now.
She considers it.
But I can see the same in you. It takes more to turn you on now. And he'll smile.
Indeed. It's weird.
Fucking terrifying, isn't it?
You could say that. But I am Autumn Court. What would I be without fear?
He'll walk with her, offering his arm again.
She'll take it.
He'll walk her basically out, back to the parlor they were in. The whip is a gift for the information you gave me earlier.
She
Please,
looks surprised.
please do not think that you owe me. I'm also not above doing things for the lack of tit for tat.
You know, if I wasn't with who I was with, I wouldn't have hesitated. But
You smile. I can see that. And I can still see desire in your eyes. But this isn't the last time you'll see me.
I expect not.
So who knows what'll happen in the future?
Very true. It was a pleasure meeting you.
A word of advice.
Hmm.
I would keep our association between you, me, and those who know about it. I am the
Oh,
enemy.
I had no intention of letting anybody know about this meeting or your affiliation with my partner.
Oh my. What a special tone when you said partner there.
She smiles and actually will blush slightly.
I'll smile. You met his daughter, actually.
She cocks her head.
Marina. Well, Elias's daughter. That's how he knows me.
Oh my.
He'll smile. I spirited her away from the gentry that took her. Once they had him, his family was picked off. The fetch was broken. They began to become aware that there was something amiss. The wife died of grief, but his two children, well, his son didn't make it, but Marina did. And she was lost in Arcadia, and I saved her. For this, he and I formed an alliance.
She'll nod. Does he come visit her?
Yes, from time to time. But she was already, she was nothing but a babe when he was taken. And by the time that he reunited with her, she was a woman. So there is distance,
She'll nod.
but they do care for one another. And I care for her. Not in any way you would consider, but I see her a bit like an adopted daughter. A smile.
Rose looks a little, I don't know if disturbed is the right word, but she feels, I don't know. She feels ways about the information he just gave her.
He'll tilt his head, seeing that. Tell me your thoughts.
He told me that he had a wife before, but I haven't got a chance to really talk to him about it. It's pretty terrible.
He wanted children so badly that he gave up his desires in order to marry and have them. But his heart was cold. He tried his hardest to love her, and he loved them. But unfortunately, he was not drawn to her kind. But he did love her. Unfortunately, it gained the attention of one of the fair that was similar to this. And she took him. And took everything from him. His children, his wife, his entire life. Left a shell behind, but it died quickly. It fell apart. He took his wife to the grave with it. Sometimes I wonder how he endures with a heart so shattered. To lose not only your identity and what you, to your core, felt you were, but then to lose what you lost it for. And then to come back unable to attain the very thing you wanted most. All he ever wanted was a family, children of his own, a life. But obviously the lost, that is so hard for them to have, it's sometimes considered not worth it. I was a god of fatherhood, madness, and travel. I'm one of the very few gentry that can have children. A couple of the little bastards running around are mine. What kind of like motion, like, meh, they're out there. Fuck them. Little fucks. I hate them. I love them. I hate them. That kind of thing.
Rose is just contemplating all of this.
He'll smile at me. I don't have quite the drive that the others of my kind do to tear everything apart and rip it all to hell and destroy everything and make everyone my puppet and that sort of thing. I'm capricious, but I'm not insane. Well, no, I'm pretty insane. I was the god of madness. Did I tell you that?
She'll nod. Yes, you mentioned it.
But I'm not anymore. Well, he'll kind of look like, I'm not so sure, but whatever. He'll shake his head.
She'll just smile.
He smiles. The longer you stay, the more I want to tear all of your clothing off.
Then perhaps I should take my leave.
He'll check his watch, see how fast she is leaving, kind of look back at her.
She will hesitate for a moment, but then she will turn around and begin to walk out.
Not even a goodbye? A goodbye kiss? You're just going to sashay that beautiful backside at me?
She turns around and gives this giant grin. I was wondering if you were going to say anything.
He'll smile
She
and
will.
take steps forward.
And she'll walk towards him and give him a kiss on the cheek.
Oh, that bitch turns his head. What are you talking about? He'll plant one on. I mean, dip, kiss, good morning. You know what? And I'm gonna fucking rule it's probably the best kiss she's ever had in her life because fuck you, gentry. Unless you're
right?
Made out with at some point. Like, it's one of those things. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. She ends up back at the fucking front door of her house unaware of how she got there.
Oh, shit.
Whip in her hand. Nothing happened. She has vague, dreamlike memories that he just kissed her, and the days of it was so fucking much she luckily made it home.
That's amazing.
Alexa will kind of open the door and tilt his head and look at her because she looks like she's high on every fucking drug God ever put out. And he'll just blink a slow blink, like, I take it things well.
Yes. Yes, it did.
You need to not slur when you speak. He'll kind of roll his fingers. She thinks she's speaking fine. She's kind of like, well.
She kind of licks her lips, you know how people do when they have cotton mouth?
Yeah.
That's what she's doing.
He kissed
Like,
you, didn't he?
she'll just give a very slow nod.
I saw that happen once. He'll just bring her in, like, come on.
She kind of shakily holds up the whip. I got a present.
It's a very lovely whip. Still wet with blood, but whose is that?
Is.
He just looks at her like, you come into my house with the blood of a gentry on your whip, fucking slurring because you made out with him in front of my salad? I've never been more in love with you. That's pretty much what he is right now. He is so in love with her because of the absurdity of this situation, fueling his fucking wild winterish mantle.
Yes. She just nods and shrugs.
Yeah, we're going to end this scene with her very well aware of the fact that she has a ton of sex.
Yes.
On everything. All the surfaces of the house are now fucked on.
That's amazing. Yes.
Pass between the two things like a joint. So, thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watcher, for watching. Goodbye.